Heacock 45, you know what you're looking at. You're looking at a nice 1911 from World War II Remington Rand. Yes, it's kind of a chapter 2, but this is one you've not seen. You saw the first video with Remington Rand that went to auction on eGunner, and this one is mine. I've actually found this, oh gosh, been 2 or 3 months ago, I guess. I think I told you in the first video, which I'll link to, that I would like to own one of these because my dad carried one. John's granddad, carried one of these in World War II. And I just always thought, I need to find one of those sometime. It's kind of cool, and I've got his dog tags here on the table, a couple of knives that we've had for years and years, just a little World War II local color ambiance, that kind of thing. And I was fortunate, I wasn't in any hurry. I've had my eye out, and I was lucky enough to find one reasonably priced. They're all expensive, but it's exactly what I was looking for. Usually it's a compromise, right, when you're looking for firearms or old firearms and that sort of thing. But this one is just perfect for what I was looking for. In fact, it's almost a little too good, because I wanted a shooter, one that I could shoot occasionally, not thousands and thousands of rounds. But before I shoot this one, I thought we'll do something a little bit differently. I'll actually take it down and show you. This one has a really nice finish. It's 1944 vintage. Serial numbers, you can see it's 1,779,000. And this is, again, if you heard me explain some of that in the first video, and I know you'll get back and look at that one. Remington Rand had a little bit of a rough start when they started making these in, what it was, 1940 or whenever, early 40s, 42, I guess. And the first run of them, and some of them, they had some interchangeability of parts issues, and they got that worked out to where they really started making some nice 1911s, and most collectors and people that know these will admit that they're really second to none. I mean, they're not necessarily better than the Colts or the Ithacas or any of the others, but they are really nicely made. So what was I going to do? I was going to take it apart and show you this thing. I have fired it some. I did have one malfunction with this magazine that came with it, so don't know. It might need some springs replaced. It is old. You can do the math, 1944, so been around a little while. Let's take a couple shots with it. Now I'll just go ahead and use that magazine. And I'll put a couple, I already did, in my mag pouch here. So these old guns don't have the best sights. You know how it goes. They got the raised mainspring housing. They got the short triggers, which I don't prefer for a shooter. Most of us, I think, like a flat mainspring housing these days, and even a long trigger. Not everybody, depending on the size of your hands. And we like better sights on them and all that. But this is as issued. Got in good shape. Got a little gouge there on the grip panel, and that's about it. So take a couple shots. I don't think that will affect. Hey, I can blame my misses on that, can't I? Actually, I blame them on the poor sights. Not easy to see, but I think it shoots right on. And this is, now whenever you see this video, you may see other pumpkins killed here at the compound before you see this, don't know. But this is the first pumpkin of the season, and we thought it'd be appropriate to shoot it with this fine old Remington Rand. Let's just start with that. Just put some holes in it. It won't blow up, but let's just put a little face on it for now, then we'll come back to it. This gun was really designed for 2 liters, so let's pop one. See if I can hit that one up there. All right. Standing unevenly here, but that's okay. You should be able to shoot when you're standing unevenly. There's another one. Empty. All the training people go through and, worry about where their feet are, and, okay, I got to have my feet in a perfect position and like this, or isosceles, all that perfect stuff. If you ever actually have to shoot, I doubt that you're probably always going to get into that position, right? So it all comes down to trigger pull and sights and all that. So why did I quit shooting? I have magazines right on my body. Oh, there's a 2 liter right there. Let's shoot those. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm not dating these targets. Some people get concerned about the dates on the target. I'm going to date them when I ship them in the future, okay? So before I put them in the envelope for the auction winner, I will put a date on it. All right. No problem so far. So I even got out one of the bigger pots. I thought, you know, this gun deserves respect. So we've got a pumpkin, the first pumpkin of the season. We've got one of the bigger pots to smoke. All right, so let's chew it up a little bit. Nice. Got some pans. All right, nothing like shooting tin cans, is there? Especially with a 45, putting big holes in it. Then we need more ammo. 7 or 8 rounds is what you get. I mean, that is a gorgeous piece of iron. You know, it is a gorgeous piece of iron. And most of you know what I mean. You can appreciate that, can't you? Because, my gosh, the age and so many decades, this was the U.S. military sidearm. And still is in some units, right? A little more souped up, you know, better sights and all of that. And I've got kind of a mix of magazines. I sorted through all my mini magazines and pulled out most of the ones that don't have ugly base pads. I thought that would be more appropriate for an old military slab side 45, okay? So I'll put some of those in my mag pouch. Some of these are kind of old, but that's all right. I just thought it would be more respectful if we didn't have any crazy mag extensions and that sort of thing. The Brownells have just a little bit. I like the Brownells mags though. They tend to work. They really do. Now watch this. It'll malfunction. I jinxed it. I guarantee you I jinxed it. All right. Let's shoot something else here. Let's go on across the hill. The Remington Rand. I don't know if it's hit the gong yet. Let's make sure it's christened properly. That old front sight's hard to see. It's not very big. All right, that's what I wanted to hear. Nice. Might even try a pig. Oh, okay. Steady out here now. Okay, I got him. I'm not even sure where to hold this thing, to tell you the truth. Let's try that other pig. Oh, right there, I guess. Let's try a turkey up there. I'm just throwing lead at him. Let's try the gong again. Yep. I'm sorry, Mr. Remington. I didn't mean to miss. I'll get you this time. Yeah. Sweet, sweet. Mr. Pumpkin, you need a couple more hits. Hey, it's working. It's working. Can you imagine? Yep. Pretty interesting. Made it from either Europe or the Pacific back to the Hickok 45 range. For fun and games. Fun and games. It retired to the range. What a jewel. What a jewel. Oh, we have a 2-liter left here. Not being addressed. Oh boy. Garbage can lid. Oh, cowboy. Sorry, it's not your era, Mr. Cowboy, but it's not too far away. 1911. There's still some cowboys around in 1911. Oh, another magazine. Mr. Cowboy, let's address you again. Boom. I mean, you could take this firearm, a lot of people do, they buy these GI configuration firearms, more newly built, should I say? But yeah, recent builds, recently manufactured firearms. Most of the 1911 bigger companies make a GI version, don't they? Just like this. And you know, I've known people who bought that for their first gun, or just bought it to carry as their carry gun and still carry them. So it's not an antique that is obsolete at all. Let's just load a couple more mags, okay? Can't resist. Yeah, cool old gun. Like I say, it's a little special to me because, you know, Dad carried one over there in Europe, and would love to have brought it back. I've told that story before. They really, in his unit at least, they threatened them to, you know, their lives not to do that. Although a lot of guys did and got by with it just fine. And in fact, this one, you know, there's no import markings or anything. It's a bring back, which is cool. Don't have all kinds of weird stampings on it, sort of thing. That's just as it was, as it was carried. And I'll bring it out and shoot it every now and then, but I typically won't put even this many rounds through it. I talked about that before. You know, we're sort of the curators of these old museum pieces in a way. And there's different schools of thought on it. Some people probably would like to see them not fired, actually. But I don't know. I just, unless it's perfect right off the line, it doesn't hurt to shoot it. This thing could go for centuries with the kind of use it'll get from me. Okay, just to be shot occasionally. So, just pretty cool. Piece of living history, if you will. Living history. Very interesting piece of iron. So, this happens occasionally. If you notice with our chapter 2s, I fall in love with a firearm that we borrowed from somebody or whatever, a gun you all requested, and that has to go back or it goes to auction or something. You know what, I really like that. And then I get my own, and so for the chapter 2 version, it's actually a different firearm. So we still call it a chapter 2, but this is really special. All right, Mr. Pumpkin, you think you're tough. You are pretty tough. We might just need to work on you a little bit more. Let's take the safety off, it helps. Okay, man. He might live to be shot another day. I know one thing I can do. I don't want to do too much of it with this big 45. I do have some 230 grain slugs at my disposal, so I can just knock the whole thing down. Now, that's what's known as knockdown power. Get that? Okay. Now, I figured you get that joke. Okay, one more magazine. What do you want me to do with it? Huh? Gotta put one on the gong. Oh, did I hit it? There we go. One on the gong, and let's just punch the coffin a few times. There we go. Yeah, great IPSC gun, huh? USPSA. So, oh man, cool gun. Again, it's not my carry gun. Most of you who really appreciate firearms, though, you don't get caught up in all this stupid, you know, Glock sucks or 1911 suck, or this gun's horrible, that gun's horrible. If they work, they're not horrible. They don't suck. They are used by a lot of people, and you know, personally, I don't carry a 1911 anymore, but personally, I like them just as much, as I think you know. Have several, and there's none that I like more than these old GI models, you know, that actually have written on the side, and it's not a replica, United States property, model 1911. U.S. Army. Pretty cool because it's real. It's not even the replicas are neat. I've got one of those, but man, these are really special. And by the way, these are one firearm. This is one firearm that does appreciate in value. I know you guys all tell your wives, girlfriends, yeah, these guns, they're a good savings account. They'll appreciate all of that, which they sort of don't really. These do. Cool gun. I guess you can figure out that I like it. Remington Rand from World War II, 1944. Life is good. We'd like to thank one of our sponsors, SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. SDI has fully accredited distance learning programs where you can get certified in gunsmithing or even an associate's degree in firearms technology. Of course, the study includes hands-on experience, which is important, of course. So check it out. Go to sdi.edu or just click on the link in the description. Okay? And also, we'd like to remind you to check out the Hickok 45 Facebook page and the Hickok 45 and Son channel and its Facebook page, as well as Gun Culture Radio on iTunes. Now remember all this, because I'm coming to your house randomly over the next year or two to give you a quiz on it, okay? Thank you.